Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to see you all here today. If you are on YouTube, we want to say welcome. And again, I want to thank Sharon Seventh day Adventist Church for my home church for inviting me to come and share some cooking experiences with you guys so that you can have some healthy options for your home. I want to start out with a word of prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for just waking us up this morning and just giving us another day, Lord. And I ask that you would just bless us to have an amazing experience in you today. In your name I pray. Amen. When I was growing up as a little girl, I would always watch my mom in the kitchen just making all sorts of things. And she really has inspired me. And I just really thank God for my mom and just who she's been in my life. I love you, Mom. I know you're watching right now. And so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and begin. I would like to share the first thing I would like to share with you guys. I've had a lot of people asking me about making hot dogs, and so carrot hot dogs. And so I would like to share with you this recipe. Okay, so I've added 3 cups of TVP sausage crumbles. If you're in Nashville, you can get them at Nourish Christian Market. Actually, you can get these on Amazon, most health food stores, or your ABC, what we used to call Book and Bible House back in the day. And see, they come out like really small like that. And then you just add water to it. Y'all forgive
And
me.
then you just add water to it and let it soak. Hot water makes it the process really fast, and you let it soak. And you add that in there, or you can use Ready Burger, or you can use grillers. Griller crumbles you can get at Walmart. In the freezer section, you can get them at Kroger's, Baker's, Publix. Yeah, you should be able to get the griller crumbles, or you can use the Gardein crumbles. And but I decided to do something different today and use the sausage crumbles, TVP. It's cheaper, and then you can get a lot. So I put 3 cups. Then I took nuts. You can do pecan nuts, and I grind them up in my blender. I'm adding that. That's probably about, it was 3 cups of dried sausage TVP, by the way. And then you put the water over the meat just a little bit, just to cover it. That's it. And then let the meat soak in the hot water. Okay, you don't want to add too much water. And then drain the water off the sausage TVP meat. Then I'm adding my blended nuts, okay? Pecan, too much, 2 cups of nuts. And then I bake a lot of bread, as you guys already know. So I've got my own bread crumbs, and it's just wheat bread, plain wheat bread, that I put in the blender. And look at that. And I set mine up in the the refrigerator for a while, and it comes out just like breadcrumbs, which is amazing. So, and then I've got 1 onion. I like the white onions, but any onion will do. And I chop that up. Add it. I have 1 bell pepper chopped up. Adding that in there. Okay, guys, I wanted to stop and take the time to show you something. Maybe some of you guys already know this, but I use 5 cloves of garlic. But here's a quick and easy way to take your garlic with the peel still on it, put your large knife over it, smash it down with your fist, and then you're easily able to take all the peeling off the garlic just like that. So that's pretty amazing and real small. You don't want big pieces, because then you won't be able to get the flavor all the way through. So it's good to dice it and then make it in small pieces so you can get an even flavor going through your meatloaf. Okay, my bowl back over here. And now I'm going to add my garlic. Okay. Just kind of, sometimes the nuts kind of clump together when you put it in the blender. It might be better to do it in a food processor or make sure your blender is dry. I'm just going to use these breadcrumbs, but wheat is the best. When I was growing up, my mom would just put slices of wheat bread right into the blender, and it's really great, actually. Really good. So if you don't want to make your bread, you can just use wheat bread and put it in there. Just trying to show you guys some tasty alternatives that you can use. I'm gonna add one more cup because I eyeball everything. This is just kind of how I cook. So I'm trying to give you guys measurements so that you can try to make this at home yourself. Okay, now I want to make sure I have enough.
I'm just gonna skip through that a little bit. Just
It can be flaky. It doesn't matter. You know what? So this is 2 heaping tablespoons of sage. The flavors is what really makes the meatloaf. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of rosemary. This is a vegan, vegetarian, like a seasoning that you can add. If you don't have it, it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to just do 1 teaspoon because I don't want a lot of salt because the sausage already has salt in it. So not really trying to beef McKay, so you have to kind of break it apart. Okay? I'm going to add a tablespoon of coriander seed. It's ground. Make sure you guys can see that good. Coriander seed. Okay. I might add another one because I'm going to do a tablespoon of thyme. I'm doing thyme leaves. Okay. Of oregano. So I'm going to do 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3. And I want to tell you that you can also use this as a meatball recipe as well. And you just freeze them and then fry them. Just doing a heaping teaspoon of chili powder, okay? And then you can bake your meatballs instead of frying them. If you do make them, you're going to put parchment paper down and it'll be really good. And put them in the freezer and they're really good. Okay, now I'm just going to put a little bit of cumin. Believe it or not, cumin is really good in your meatloaf. So I'm putting a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. Not too much, just a little bit. Just when you combine all these flavors together, it's really good. Okay, and then lots of garlic powder and onion powder, not under powder. So we're going to use about 4 tablespoons of onion powder. I love seasonings, and when people say only use 1 teaspoon, I kind of double and triple it up. That's how you get all your flavors. You can't taste something if you've got a big pot and only 1 teaspoon of garlic powder in it and stuff like that. But to each his own. And then my seasonings to make sure they're fresh. I'm going to do 3 tablespoons of garlic. Yes, I know we already put cloves in there, but it's really good with all the flavors and things like that. I'm going to put some smoked paprika. I got this from, I can't remember, I think Ross or something like that. But I mean, you can order smoked paprika. This one has garlic and chili in it too, so it'll be really good. Now, if you want your meatloaf to be a little spicy, I'll go ahead and tell you because I don't want to forget. Then you could put a little cayenne pepper or black pepper or something like that in it. So I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of, well, let's do 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika. Paprika. Okay. And then for the binder, I'm going to use Vital Wheat gluten, but you could also use cornstarch, works just as well for making it stick together. So I'm going to go mix all this stuff up first. Okay. It smells really good. I wish you guys were here to smell it. That smells so good. And I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning because it has basil in here. Make it really good. Okay, and then just for a little spice, I'm going to do like 1 dash of cayenne pepper. Okay, just 1. Don't want to make it too spicy, because sometimes when you make stuff too spicy, it overpowers all the flavor and goodness. 1 cup of the Vital Wheat gluten, and this is going to be my binder. But anyway, cornstarch works really good, so if you don't like Vital Wheat gluten or you can't use the Vital Wheat gluten, you could just use the nuts for your meatloaf. If you can't use the nuts or the soy, then you can use lentils and things like that, and oatmeal and things like that to make your meatloaf. And if you can't use like pecans, you could figure out which nut you can use in there, or no nuts at all. And you can use this. I use this to make meatloaves to bind it as well. So this is cornstarch. It's really good. Any brand will do. Before we put these meatloaves in the oven, we're going to cover them with foil because they will dry out. And you're going to cook them for 30 minutes with the foil on top. And then the last 15 minutes of the cooking, you're going to put, you can choose which sauce you would like to put on. You can put either ketchup, you can put barbecue sauce, or you can put sweet and sour sauce. And that's the same if you use these for meatballs, okay? And you'll put the meat, well, I'll just show you after we cook it. You can even lay bell peppers on top.
So that was the recipe for meatloaf, and I hope that you guys will try it out. I think that you'll really enjoy it. My family really enjoyed it. I think we just ate the last piece the other day, and so I've usually never made 2 meatloaves, so they were pretty excited about that. So now I want to move on and share with you the carrot dogs. So we're going to be making carrot dogs. I remember going over my friend Jen's house and She said, "We're having carrot dogs." And I was really scared because I actually hate cooked carrots. But let me tell you, those carrot dogs were the bomb, and I fell in love from them from day one, and I never stopped, and I think that you'll really love them too. So I took my carrots and I cut the ends of them, each end, trying to, make it to resemble a hot dog. I really like the big fat ones, but really any size will do. So I counted out enough so that I can have this for 2 days. Basically, we each can have 2 hot dogs. So I'm really excited about this. We're going to put it in boiling pan of water and let the carrots boil for 5 to 7 minutes or until I can at least stick a fork through it. Then we're going to pour the hot water out and run cold water over it and just kind of let them cool off a little bit, drain the water all off, and then we're going to soak it in a marinade overnight. As you can see, I've got the carrots boiling in here. So, I boiled my carrots. I've got my ingredients in the bag so that it can marinate overnight. You're going to be adding Bragg's liquid amino. You just use a big Ziploc bag, and you can just kind of play around with the seasoning. Maybe like a cup of Bragg's in each bag, or you can use soy sauce. And then you want to put about maybe a half a cup of maple syrup. I don't really measure, but you can kind of fix it to the sweet and saltiness that you like it. Then I like putting fennel seed in there, Fennel. I also put rosemary, and then you put liquid smoke. I actually put a half a bottle of liquid smoke in there. Now some recipes will once again say 1 tablespoon. Usually when it's 1 tablespoon, for me it's more because I'm trying to bring out the flavor, and so you can't go wrong using all the different herbs and things that don't have any salt in them. So, and then I put a lot of onion powder and garlic powder, a lot in the bag. Maybe like 4 tablespoons of each or something like that. I use quite a bit. And then you can add paprika in it if you want. To add a little spice, I do put the cacciatore seasoning, this right here, this is Creole seasoning. I do add some rosemary as well. Just a little bit of this because you've already added the Bragg, so you don't want to add too much. The star of these is the maple syrup and the Bragg's, and the garlic powder really makes it good. So the more the merrier. And then the longer you marinate this, the better. And you can make it your own. If I'm trying to make it taste kind of like a chorizo or something like that, or kind of have a Mexican taste or a taco taste to it, I add a little bit of cumin and chili powder. So if I want it to taste like an Italian sausage, then that's when I put the fennel and rosemary. I just kind of play around with it and make the different flavors that I want. And I usually put about a couple tablespoons of the herbs in each bag because I really want the flavor to come out. I don't do a lot of cumin, just a little bit. But again, if I'm trying to do like a chorizo or something like that, then I might add a little bit more cumin and chili powder and maybe taco seasoning or something like that. But I just kind of play around with it, and but my favorite is this way with the fennel and all the ingredients that I just gave you. And then what I do to kind of stretch it is I add water to the bag, like
halfway. And then, oh, I was forgetting one ingredient. You gotta add a little bit of oil to it. So you can put like 1/4 cup of canola or whatever oil you like.
So this is what the carrot dogs are gonna look like when they come out the oven. I actually told you one thing wrong. You're gonna take your oil and just put it in like maybe just a tablespoon of oil, whatever oil you use, and put it in a little bowl and then brush it on the sides, and this is what it looks like. Doesn't this look amazing? I mean, these are the bomb. Now I want to show you what it looks like in a hot dog bun. So look at all that yumminess. So what I usually do is I dice some onions really fine. That's fine chopped pieces, and I put that on there. I've even done tomatoes. You can do olives, and then you got your mustard and ketchup and your mayo and your relish, and it is so yummy. And you know, I made this for Miss King the last time I saw her, and she just loved it. I thought you all from Sharon would love hearing that, and wish she was still here. But you know, if Miss King loved this carrot dog, and y'all know how she could throw down in the kitchen with those red velvets and her cakes and her greens and her rolls, so you know if she loved this carrot dog, then you're gonna love it too. Well, enjoy. Congratulations on a happy, healthy you. All right. I hope you guys will try those carrot dogs. I mean, they are amazing. The next type of meat substitute I would like to show you how to make. This is so quick and easy. You are going to love it.
Okay, so today I'm going to be making tofu today, which is another alternative, and it tastes really good. Tofu adheres to just about anything. You can sweeten it, or it can be savory, and so that's what I'm going to be making today, and I'm really excited about it. It's one of my favorite dishes that my family, that we enjoy. I am actually using what's called a dash. This is really amazing. When I take trips, I take this with me. Okay, so I'm going to just drizzle some oil around in here. Okay, that was 1 tablespoon. We'll start out with just 2 tablespoons. And I'm going to start sauteing the vegetables here that we're going to put in here. So I've got some onion. I've got the dash on medium. Okay. Kind of cooking oil a little bit more than I would like to. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit on medium low, because it doesn't take long for this to get hot. Oops. And then I've got some bell peppers. That was 1 onion and 1 bell pepper. It can be medium or large. Just going to move it around. And just kind of let that saute until it gets to a good point. Just want to get those really sauteed up good. Okay. Alright, that's doing good. Now while that's doing that, turn it back up just a a little bit, right before medium. I'm going to get some garlic, okay, and get that chopped in. I'll add that last because I don't want it to get all messed up in there and everything like that. So that's moving along. That's coming along really good. This is really quick and easy. That's why I really love this. It was just, I don't know, something I just made up one day. And that's the great thing about cooking. You can be so creative. So I took my tofu and I sliced it like that. And then I laid a paper towel over it and I let all the water kind of let the paper towel sponge up all the water. Okay. Alright, this is extra firm tofu. Alright, and I sliced it like that, nice and thick. That's about maybe an inch thick or something like that. Okay. It could be a half an inch, I'm not for sure. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want it thick. You don't want thin slices. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add the pieces. Now you want to lay them flat. And that's why I like using this big pan. It's really big. It's a lot larger than you think. Gonna lay all this tofu out here, nice and flat. Alright, so we've got that going here, and the goal is to get this chopped up, brown and crispy on both sides, lightly brown and crispy on both sides. Okay? Alright. So I'm going to add my seasonings. I've got, this is my favorite right here, Liquid Bragg's Liquid Amino. You can get this at Kroger's, health food store, just, drizzle it on. You don't need too much. Then I'm going to add my herbs. This is Italian seasoning. I usually put a lot of herbs. Probably about a tablespoon of each herb. And just sprinkle it evenly. Okay. Now I'm adding some rosemary. Just probably about another tablespoon. And then I'm adding a little bit of onion powder. And, oh, that was garlic powder, sorry. And then this is onion powder. Oh, it smells so good. I wish you guys could smell it. And then some oregano. Probably another tablespoon or so of oregano. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is just kind of move it around in the pan. Carefully, though, because you don't want to tear up your pieces. Because I wanted to get all the flavors and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of moving it around a little bit. It's going to be so good. Oh, and one more seasoning I forgot to put on there. This is so healing. Turmeric. Where's my measuring? Oh, okay. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of turmeric. Gotta get it out of here. This is like so healing. Probably a half a teaspoon. But it's just really good. Well, no, I'm going to go on and use the whole teaspoon. And it's just really, really good. And turmeric is so good for you. We all should be having turmeric right now. And then see how it's getting crispy? And you just, turn it over. see? And you just want all the flavors to soak in. Now, if you wanted to make your tofu like fish, I went to a health class years ago, a cooking class with Sister Marvelita, and she showed us to put lemon on ours. So you can put lemon juice, sprinkle lemon juice over the tofu, just like you would your fish. Okay? And, let me get that from under there. There we go. And you could also, this is a great seasoning. You can get it at the health food store, or I got this on Amazon. It's a organic sea kelp delight seasoning. And if you want it to be a fishy taste, then you could put this on there. The kelp in it, kind of that seaweed, the sea kelp gives it kind of like a fishy taste. And this is also from the Bragg's company. And there's no, I don't think there's any salt. Okay, there's only 30 grams of sodium in here. And I'm assuming that's like natural from the sea kelp and everything. So you could put that and some lemon juice over it, and then it will kind of give it that fishy taste. I'm gonna drizzle just a little bit more oil over it, just because it's looking a little dry. Or actually, I can put the top on here and just kind of let it steam. And I could also, instead of putting oil, I could use a little bit of water. So, I'll drizzle just a little bit, not much. That was probably like 3 tablespoons or something like that. Not much. And then we'll let that kind of cook down a little bit. And then you just want to check on it. You see it's doing really good. I'm going to go ahead and just a little bit and add my garlic to it. Check on it, because you don't want it to cook down too long. See how lovely that looks? Oh, it looks so good. And it tastes really good. And we usually have this with rice and kale for dinner. And it's just really good. So that was quick and easy, and look it, we're all done. And then when you put it on the plates, you know, give everybody a few bell peppers and onions. And then to give it that, just look at that piece right there, yummy, yummy, yummy. And then to give it that extra garlic taste, then you go ahead and put your garlic on last, because you don't want to burn it. And you can cook this the night before. Really, you can cook it the day of and just have all the fresh flavors. Because you see, it didn't even take that long. And that's it.
All right, so I hope you guys will try that tofu. It is really amazing. And I actually put it on a cookie sheet and put foil over it, and we actually had it the next day for dinner, and we tore it up. It was so good. Now I'm going to be showing you how to make gravy a fat-free, healthy way, and it still tastes really good.
Alright, so we are going to make some mushroom gravy. Basically, if you miss your condensed milk, your condensed mushroom soup, this is going to really help. That's 1 cup of water. The first thing you want to do is boil your mushrooms. I've got a pack of mushrooms. Putting it in there, and we're gonna boil it. Don't put salt, don't put anything in there, and we're gonna boil this. And after it comes to a boil and the water turns brown, you have now successfully flavored your water, and you can begin to add your roux and everything to thicken it. Alright, Right, we're back to our mushroom soup, and our condensed milk. Well, it's going to be mushroom gravy, basically, as if it was the mushroom soup out of the can. And I just happened up on this one day, and so I am taking and I'm putting some water in a cup. I'm going to put 2 cups of water in a cup. You can use a bowl, but I always like using a cup. Okay? And then I'm going to add a cup of flour. I'm making my roux. When I was at Andrew's, my friend Leah had me over one day, and she showed me a healthier way. She made me this really good rice soup. It was so good. It was vegan chicken rice soup. I'll never forget it. It was amazing. And so she showed me a quick and easy way how to make roux without frying it in the skillet with all that oil. And so this is a fat-free, and let me tell you, it's really good. So I've just taken and I'm using a little whisk. I always like to keep the miniature whisk in the house, and I've stirred the 1 cup of flour into the 2 cups of water in this cup, and you stir it around really good until there aren't any more chunks. Okay? Right? And also growing up, my mom, I'm sure other people do it too. I've taken the juice off of the fried chicks, the juice off of the, what is that called? Big Frank, Super Links, the juice off of the can, and I've also poured that in there to flavor the gravy. I also want to let you know I added some onion in there. About a half a cup of onion. Not too much, because you really want to taste that mushroom. Okay, this is stirred up really good now. You see how it kind of looks like milk? And now we are going to slowly add it. And you know what? I'm going to use my whisk again. Kind of a combination of a whisk and a spoon. I like keeping my whisk right here by me. And I'm just going to kind of start whisking this in here. If you have a hand blender, this will be a great time, but the only thing is that you'd have to take out all your mushrooms, or you'd blend up all your chunks of mushrooms. And you just add that into your hot water, and look at how thick that gets, like immediately, okay? And I've got a little bit down there, so again, you don't want chunks. And the water doesn't have to be hot when you do this. That's going to be chunky, so I'm not adding that. Look at that. And I'm not letting my whisk touch the bottom of my pan because I don't want to ruin it. And look, it's already thick. That is just so amazing. It's really easy. Now, if you don't want it that thick, okay, then you can, now I'm going to turn the pan down before it bubbles all over the place. But if you don't want it that thick, then you can gradually add just a little bit of water at a time. So when I'm cooking, I kind of just keep a tall glass by me so I can gradually add water till I get this consistency. You know, a lot of people like to add, that was probably about 1/4 cup of water that I added, but you know, you can play around with it until you have the thickness that you want. A lot of people like to use soy milk and rice milk and stuff like that to make gravy, and you don't have to do all that. Now, I will tell you, I've made a really good gravy with the cashew soy milk that you can get at Walmart. I think it's cashew milk. Yeah, the unsweetened one. That did make a good gravy, I will tell you that. Okay, let's get into the seasonings, because see, I want mine thick. Look at how thick that is. Alright, so I'm adding some onion powder. I'm not really going to do any measurements. I mean, you guys just kind of make it your own. That is about a tablespoon, though, of onion powder. You can even add granulated onions. I'm pretty good at eyeballing stuff. That's about a half a tablespoon or 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of seasoning salt, not that much. Yeah, that's not a lot at all. That's not even, that might be almost a half a teaspoon, but not quite. And see, this is where the whisk comes in handy because you don't want any clumps, so you have to keep whisking away. And you can even add the seasonings to your flour so that then you have a lump-free gravy. Okay, then I like to add, now there's mushroom soy sauce. I forgot to tell people, if you're allergic, this is really good, but if you're allergic to soy, there's mushroom soy sauce. You can add that instead. That's about 1/4 a cup, or at least 3 tablespoons of this Bragg's amino. Okay, now I'm gonna taste it, see what it's doing. You can put pepper in it if you want to. I'm not going to. Really good. It needs a little bit more salt. So I'm gonna sprinkle some of my Himalayan salt. See, it's not really that much that I put. And then I forgot. This is really good. It's better than bouillon. It's vegetable based. You can get it at Walmart. We're gonna put about a teaspoon. That's probably about a teaspoon and a half, almost a tablespoon. We're putting that in there too. And I let the spoon sit down in there till I don't see any more. I keep it in the heat till I don't see any more. Or you can make the broth, heat up the water first and let that be part of your 1 cup. But I just go ahead and do it that way. It's just kind of quick. And then stir it up. And there you have your gravy. And it's really good. And I use the same method for making sausage gravy. The same, I make the roux like that, and this is how I make it for my family. And I use those sausage crumbles, or you can, if you don't have sausage crumbles, you can use the Gardein crumbles or the griller crumbles, and then you'll add sage and things like that to it. But this is how I make all my gravies. I don't fry a whole bunch of oil in a skillet and stuff like that. And you can use wheat flour or a combination of wheat and white. And let's taste it now. Let's see. This is going to go over the mashed potatoes to go with the meatloaf. That's good. So that's how you make it. If you want it to be a little spicy, you can add a little hint of the Creole. I put this in almost everything. Or you can use cayenne pepper or something like that. I think I am going to add, I'm going to see if I have any Big Frank juice in the can. And you just keep adding until it tastes the way you want it to taste. And you can use soy sauce again if you don't have this. You can use Dale's. Dale's is really good. You can put that in your gravy. But this is pretty much it. If you're not into having a lot of spices and seasonings, this is it. So that's how you make it, and hope you guys enjoy.
And for the mashed potatoes, I didn't have time to do a video for that. You can use regular instant mashed potatoes, or you can steam your white potatoes. And if you do instant, then you can put cloves of garlic in the water and garlic powder, and then add some parsley flakes in there. And that's how you can make your garlic mashed potatoes. And that's what we did with our meal. Well, now we are moving on to making some smoothies. This was the one I was going to show you guys last night. So today I'm going to be making a green smoothie, a fruit smoothie, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to be putting a lot of nutritious things in there. So I've started by filling my blender with halfway, a little over the halfway mark with spinach. What I do is I buy the leaf lettuce spinach in the bag, and then you put them in the freezer and they'll still have the nutrients in there, and then it'll last longer and you can keep it in your freezer and pull it out for smoothies. So next I put 4 scoops of organic protein, plant-based nutrition. This is a protein shake. Put that in there, and the thing about this is it'll tell you how many scoops to put per the amount of liquid that you have in there. And so I'm probably gonna have well over 10 ounces of water. So, and then you have to add up for all the stuff when it's blended, when all the food and everything is blended. So I put 4 scoops. I normally just put 2 if I'm trying to stretch it and make my canister to last for a long time. You can get this on Amazon, you can get it at Walmart, you might even be able to get this at Sam's. But we try to use plant-based protein shakes. The ones that are whey have milk in them, and so we try to stay away from the whey type of protein shakes. And you can get pea protein, you can get a soy protein shake. There's all sorts of the rice protein. So there's something for everybody. I don't really know of anybody allergic to rice. So there's different ones that you can get. This is the vanilla one. Then I put 2 tablespoons of this Super Seed Nutiva blend in here. It has ground flax, ground chia, and ground hemp seed in here, and it also has coconut. And this is an organic superfood. We try to put this in all our smoothies. And look at all those omega-3s that are in there, which would be really amazing for your diet. The reason why a lot of us are getting sick is because of lack of nutrients and vitamins in our diets. And then lastly, I put 2 heaping tablespoons of the organic moringa powder in here by Nature Vibe Botanicals, and you can get 1 bag of this off of Amazon. It's only like, I think $9.99, and it lasts for a long time because it's a pound, and this lasts for a long time too. And this will give you energy. It helps to prevent cancer. It's going to keep you from catching the coronavirus. It's got over 90 nutrients in there, and there's antioxidants in there. There's all sorts of amazing things in there. This will grow your hair. It helps with diabetes. It helps with high blood pressure. If you're having problems using the restroom, it helps with constipation. It helps with a lot of things. If you will just Google it, and even if you're not sick, you don't need to say, oh, I'm not sick, so I don't need to take this. It's just good to take it so you can be healthy on a regular basis. But if you don't have time to make a smoothie, then again, you can put all of this, the powders, with some soy milk, almond milk, or rice milk, and put it in a blender cup and just shake it. You could at least put this, and this. You wouldn't be able to do the fruits and stuff like that. But it's important to get this in every day, and you're going to see a difference, and you're going to start to feeling better. Okay, so now I've added some frozen blueberries. I got these at Aldi's. They're unsweetened. And if you're diabetic, blueberries and different berries are ideal. Like if you're on insulin, these are ideal and don't rise up your sugar. Blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, also peaches and things like that Those are a lot easier and safer to take. I like to do a combination of raw and frozen so that you get the full benefit. And we need to have 5 servings of raw fresh fruits per day. And a serving would be like in the palm of your hand, or a cup. And then you would need to fill the whole palm of your hand, or you could just use a measuring cup. And so I use some apples, and you know, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So I'm going to put these apples in the blender. I've even done bananas. You can use whatever fruit you would like to. And now I'm going to add the liquid. And then see, we're getting our servings of our raw vegetables because we have our frozen non-cooked spinach in there. So that's 2 servings right there that you're going to be getting, which is amazing. So now I usually try to fill the blender about halfway with water, or a little over the halfway mark, okay? And you can add it and make it to your thickness, but if you put too much water in there, then it's going to be running over, okay? And then I usually keep my hand on the top of the blender while I'm blending it. We're going to blend this and we'll be right back. Okay, so this is gonna how it's going to look after you've blended it, and it's gonna be kind of like a purplish color, but this is a great way to sneak fruits and vegetables in if you have kids that don't like fruits and vegetables. And my kids were just laughing at this when I said this a few minutes ago. However, they love fruits and vegetables. But like, I've had people over in the past and I've made them smoothies and they didn't even know there was spinach in there. And another way to do it, you can use blueberry and just get the berry blend and put the spinach in there, and they won't even know that they're having spinach and apples and all that. And then if you have to trick your spouses, even your grown-up kids, this is a way to do it, and they'll really love it, and it's good. You can add ice to it if you like it thicker. If it's not sweet enough, you can put dates, you can put agave syrup or honey or something like that to make it sweeter. Now, I used water. It's the quickest, the cheapest way, but you can also use almond milk or rice milk to do that. I also, for my beginner smoothie drinkers, I use juice. I use the white peach grape juice to make the smoothies, and it's really good. And so that's another way. And then you would just want to buy the plant-based that doesn't have any flavor, but it has all the nutrients if you're going to use juice. And the unflavored plant-based ones are actually cheaper. And so you can use apple juice, you can use your favorite juice and just put it in there if you really want to make it good and you want your kids and family members to get all the benefits of it. But this is actually really good, and it's actually, to me, sweet enough. So I think your family will really enjoy it. And you're going to have a lot of energy, and it's good to try to do this first thing in the morning. I even take and make jars of it and put it in the refrigerator, so I have it ready to go in the morning. You can even save like your spaghetti jars and stuff like that. I also rinse out my water bottle with hot water, put my name on it, and I'll pour my smoothie in there. And on Sunday, you can make a whole bunch of smoothies and put them in your freezer and ready to grab them. And then by lunchtime, your smoothie is thawed out. Or if you wake up at like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, you could put your smoothie out on the counter, and then it should be thawed maybe by the time you're driving to work or getting to work. And then you can, now I don't recommend sipping on smoothies all day because it's kind of like a meal, so you need to just drink it. Drink it in one setting so you can get the full benefits, and drink it with your meal, or if you're using it to replace a meal, then do that. But you don't want to just be sipping on it all throughout the day, because snacking isn't good. But if you have to snack, then it's better to do it with smoothies or fruits, and you know, snack on some carrots or some grapes or apples or something like that. But this is just another way to make a smoothie. All right, so what do you guys think about the smoothie?
So delicious. It's sweet.
All right,
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
Good. You can taste the blueberry and all of it. It's really good.
All right, great way to start the morning, right? All right, so if my kids can drink their smoothie, so can yours, and adults, so can you. All right, well, enjoy being a healthy, happy you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So I'm not going to show you this video, but it's how to make peanut butter smoothies. All you need to do is take the same concepts, and you're just going to put 2 bananas, ice, fill your blender up halfway. You actually put spinach in it too. I try to sneak in vegetables anyway. When you use the lettuce, leafy lettuce spinach, the fresh, and you just put it in the freezer. I just buy up bags and put it in the freezer. You'll still get the nutritional benefits. And then you put your vanilla shake powder in there, agave syrup, and bananas and ice and water, or your soy milk, almond milk, rice milk, oat milk, whatever you want to use. I just use water, and it's really amazing. You can go to my YouTube page, Smiley Chelise, and you will be able to see this recipe and many others. And there's another way how to prep some smoothies. You can put all your stuff in bags and put them in the freezer, and then be ready to make them for the week. Where there's a will, there's a way. Now I would like to show you, I know that during this coronavirus, I know I go and run out of, when I get to the store, there has been no more milk, no more soy milk, no more rice milk. So I watched this video on YouTube where this lady, she was making her soy milk, and I used to make it years ago at Andrew's. And so this is a way to make soy nut milk. I didn't know until I saw her video that you could do soy nut milk. Well, I actually used a variety of nuts. So we'll watch this short video on how to make it. So we're getting ready to make some soy nut milk. I don't know if there is such a thing, but we make it for our family and we love it. So I have a soy maker. So I've made the soy milk already. My really good friend Angie gave it to me when my husband and I were at, when my husband was at Andrews and he was going to the seminary. So I'm just going to put a little bit in there. I've soaked my nuts, and what's really amazing is at Aldi's you can get a pound of unsalted nuts from Aldi's, and it's like 1 pound for I think $12.99 or something like that, $13.99, and you only have to use like a cup of nuts, and there's like cashews, almond, hazelnut, there's all sorts of nuts, there's even pecans in there too, so it's just a really, or either walnuts, I think pecans, really power packed, just really healthy. So we put the nuts in here already, and then to sweeten it, Aldi's also has module dates. I really like them. I'm using this as a sweetener. They weren't pitted, so what I did was I just tore it apart and then took the seed out. Well, this one, guess it didn't have it. Oh, here it is. Sorry, I tore that one apart already. Tear it apart. Just tear it apart. And then I put the seed over there, and that's it. And I'm going to put these in the blender right here. I'm doing a little bit at a time because sometimes it kind of blends out of the blender. So we don't want to do that. Oh, and then we're also going to put just a little pinch not that much, of salt. So like a dash. To be exact, 1/8 teaspoon. Okay, so we're gonna do that now. There we go. That's about 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to mix some vanilla flavor. I'm just using the imitation. You can use whatever kind you want to use. I love vanilla flavor, so that's probably like a tablespoon or 2 or something like that. And then because there's lots of almonds in there and I just like that almond flavor, I put just a little bit of almond. See, just a little bit, not much. Maybe like a 1/2 teaspoon or something like that. You guys know I'm not really good at measuring. And then we're going to blend it up, and then I'm going to show it to you. We'll be back in just a minute. Okay, we're done blending it, and I'm going to pour some in a cup. Now, I like mine really thick, so, oh, I almost poured the glass too tall. That's what it looks like. If you don't like thick soy milk, you can get a cheesecloth or a strainer, like the canning strainers, the ones that used to make applesauce and things like that, and you can pour the milk through there and strain all the nuts off. But I like to get it all, so I don't strain my milk when I make it, because I like thick milk. And if it's not sweet enough for you, then you can add maple syrup or agave syrup to it, or add some more nuts. And that's the way to naturally sweeten it without adding pure refined sugar, either with the dates or the maple syrup. And it's really good, or with the agave syrup. So enjoy. This is what we've been having right now. When we can't get milk at the store, I just make it, because I tried to get some almond milk from Walmart this week and they were out. So I am up making some right now so that my family can have some for cereal tomorrow. So that was the video, and if you saw in the notes, you can make hemp milk, which is very nutritious, flax milk, oat milk. You can use if you're allergic to nuts, you can even do rice. That same night I did rice, and it ended up being rice, soy, nut milk. It was the bomb, you guys. Once you make your own milk, you're not going to want to go back, except for just for lack of, you don't have time. So I want to encourage you to make your own milk. Well, we've got a few more recipes. This is a pancake recipe. I'll do a bread recipe and a desserts, and we will be done. Okay, now you're going to add some water to the mix. Okay. And I forgot to say that we're going to start out. There's 2 cups of, you can either use 2 cups of flour or self-rising flour. And then I think there's 1 cup of wheat flour in there. Or you can buy the original Aunt Jemima pancake mix. The original one, you have to add water, and you have to add milk and eggs. And so most of those, when you see those box recipes at the store that say just add milk and eggs, then those are basically vegan most times. You have to read it though, because sometimes it could be buttermilk. And the original Aunt Jemima one, there isn't any dairy in it. So I usually just mix that 2 cups with a cup of wheat flour. Well, yeah, we'll use the whole cup. Might even need to do a cup and a half. Now, some people like to make their pancakes taste like they have stuff. We're gonna get some more water. They like to make their pancakes taste like there's what's it called? Oh, buttermilk in it. I'm not going to do all that today. I'm going to add this other cup. I'm just going to kind of mix it around. Looks like it needs 1 more cup. I don't measure, I eyeball everything, but I'm trying to measure this for you guys. So, yeah. So this is a 1/2 cup. That should be about good. So 2.5 cups of water. I like my pancake mix, you know, kind of a little thick. I don't like it really runny. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit more water. We're gonna try 1/4 cup. Yeah, that should do it. Okay. Okay, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of, well, probably a tablespoon of vanilla. And then, I can't find my measuring spoons. Oh, there they are over there. And we're gonna put in a tablespoon of oil so that it doesn't stick to the pan, okay? Okay, 1 tablespoon of oil. And that should be good, and it won't run, it won't stick to the pan as you're baking it. And just kind of lightly fold that through. If you want to add sugar to the mix, you can, honey. Great. I'm not going to do that. And as long as you can see bubbles starting to form, then you know your pancakes are going to rise. And they are, because I see some bubbles. And that's pretty much how you make it. And now we're going to come over here. We've got the pancake griddle going, and we're going to fry 1 pancake, just so that you can see. So I'm gonna skip through this. We all know how to fry pancakes, or cook pancakes, just so that you can see everything. There's the pancake. And the exciting thing that I like about this pancake mix is there's no eggs in it, you know? And you know, we put eggs in everything, and it's just amazing finding out you don't have to put eggs and milk and everything. And I just used water, and it still came out like a pancake. It was still really amazing. And you know, eggs have a lot of cholesterol in it, and some of us are using, you know, eggs to make pound cakes, eggs to bread or this or do that, you know, eggs to make all sorts of things. And we don't have to do that. And it's just exciting, and it still tastes good. And every time my family and I, we sit down and we can eat, you know, a lot of pancakes. And when my nephew came to visit me one summer, he didn't want to. I went and bought a big bag of pancakes from Walmart. He didn't even eat them. He didn't want them. He wanted the regular. He wanted the kind that I make without the eggs, and so they are really good. And I think you guys will really enjoy them. Okay. Oh, I forgot about this tofu egg recipe. I must show you how to make this. The thing I love about tofu eggs is that, you know, when you look at the nutritional facts on here, there's no cholesterol in here. There's only 15 grams of sodium. There is 8 grams of protein. Only 1 gram of sugar. There's fiber, 1 gram of fiber, so that counts as the sugar if you're counting things from a dietitian aspect. And you just take the tofu, you pour all the water off like that, And then you take and you squeeze it like that, and you just crumble it. And this is how you have, this is one way to do your scrambled eggs. Now another way is you can slice it really thin and it'll look like traditional eggs. But we're going to do it this way. And you just crumble it like that. I like to let the tofu sit out on the counter because it's usually too cold for my hands when I do it this way. Of course, we wash our hands before we do this. And so I had mine sitting out on the counter as soon as I started chopping and everything like that to give it some time. And see, the liquid with tofu eggs, they dry quickly. So you have to make sure that you keep adding just a little bit of water, or you can add a little bit of margarine so that you keep that soft texture and so that it doesn't get dry. A lot of people, I've had their tofu eggs and they're very dry because you can overcook it. And so you want to keep the eggs moist so they resemble regular eggs. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and mix that through there, okay? And one more thing I forgot to tell you, the thing that I love about tofu eggs is that, oh, they taste so good, and you don't have to feel guilty when you eat them, as long as you don't baptize them in oil or salt, you know, putting too much salt or oil. But see, with regular eggs, there's a lot of cholesterol in it, and the cholesterol is what is a detriment to our health in so many different ways. So if you've got high cholesterol, that comes from eating too many eggs and or eating too much meat. That's where you get that cholesterol getting up there too high, and then you start getting high blood pressure. And then when your cholesterol is too high, you're asking for a stroke and heart attack and things like that. And you don't want your cholesterol levels to be high. So this is a way to prevent that from happening by having tofu eggs instead. Okay, so I'm going to turn that up again. So we've got that all mixed through. All right, and I'm going to keep a little cup of water to the side just in case I need to add a little bit of water. Okay, now for the seasonings, we're going to be using some salt. I like to use pink salt, Himalayan salt, you know, the Himalayan pink salt, extra fine. Okay, that's really good if you have high blood pressure. It's better to use that than just the regular salt. So you can put salt to taste, okay? I'm not really going to have a lot of measurements for this because, you know, everybody has their own way that they like things to taste. But if you want to put a teaspoon of salt or more, you can do that. Just sprinkle it on, do salt to taste. And then I like putting lots of garlic powder, or you can use fresh garlic. There is so much medicinal value in just having garlic. It's just really good for you. It lowers your blood pressure. It keeps you from catching things. Fresh is best though, but we're going to use garlic powder. I'd say if I was measuring, I'd probably use about a tablespoon of garlic powder, or a half a tablespoon of garlic powder. Okay, but you can do salt to taste and put in it how much. I mean, all these different seasonings, you can do it how you want to do it, but this is how I do it. And then I put some onion powder, maybe a couple teaspoons, or another half a tablespoon or something like that. And then I was over someone's house one day, and they made me the best tofu eggs. It was Sister Marvelita when my husband and I were pastoring in Tupelo. And oh man, it was so good. And I was trying to figure out her seasonings, and one of the things she put in it was rosemary, and it just, I don't know, it just takes it to a whole nother level. So you can put just a little bit. I mean, you don't have to put a lot, maybe like a half a teaspoon or something like that. If you really like it, you can add a whole teaspoon. I like the grinded kind that you put in there. I don't too much use the powdered kind, but anyway, it's coming out really slow because this bottle's almost done. But you can basically see the gist, just a little bit. And then another thing I like to put is the veg. This actually has what is called black salt. You can get this from the health food store. Let's see, make sure you can see this okay. And it's called the Veg, VEGG. And there. It's really good. It has an eggy taste. And guess how they get that eggy taste? And I put a couple teaspoons in there. And they get the eggy taste from using black salt, okay? Black salt comes from I can't remember, a rock or something like that. But you can get this, let me show you, from like an international store, like an Indian store or Mediterranean store. It's called black salt. Or you can say kala namak. It's called that. And you can get that from an international store. And you put it just a little bit, not a lot. And it tastes just like eggs. It's really something. And so I've mixed that through there. But you don't need to do both. Either do one or the other, the black salt or the veg. The veg is probably going to be better health-wise because the black salt has high content in sodium. So when I use it, I mean, I use maybe 1/8 teaspoon because it's very salty, and you want to put it like in a liquid or something so that it spreads, the flavor spreads through. So maybe like a tablespoon of water or something like that. Or if you're making potato salad, you add it in the mayonnaise, so that the vegan mayonnaise, so that you have that eggy flavor. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to add is some turmeric. Now you don't have to add a lot. A little bit goes a long way. So let's start out with a half a teaspoon of turmeric, and let's see how that does. That probably is going to do it. I think so. And this is again for one package. The turmeric, there's a lot of health values with eating turmeric, but we're just using it to color the egg so that it looks, tofu eggs, so that it looks yellow. You can add pepper if you want to have a little spice. And see how it's turned yellow? You don't have to add a lot because so that's pretty much the tofu eggs. Just wanted to show that to you, and I used 1 egg. If you want to watch the full video, again, you can go on my YouTube page to Smiley Chelise, and here's the bread recipe. Now it says in here that I'm making 2 types of breads, but I only put 1 video on here for the bread for the sake of time. Hey, welcome to Smiley's Kitchen. So we're going to be making some bread in the bread maker today. And we're going to start out, we're going to make 2 different types of bread. The first video is going to be on making wheat bread. And the next video will be on just making regular basic white bread. Okay. We're not doing whole wheat bread in this video. We'll be doing just the wheat bread. Okay, so we've got our 2 cups of bread flour right here. And then we've got our 2 cups of wheat flour right here. Okay, now one day I was just kind of playing around in the kitchen and found out that tapioca flour is really amazing. So I wanted to just show that to you. I like using this brand. Maybe any brand will do, but I use the tapioca flour as a binder, and it also makes the bread really light and fluffy. So we're going to put a teaspoon of tapioca flour into the regular flour. Now I always like to put it in there first, just to kind of mix it up and make sure it gets in there, because sometimes it can be really pasty. So it's really important to mix that up really good. So we've mixed that up good, and we're gonna set that aside. Now, when you're making bread in a bread maker, you want to start out with your liquids first, okay? So I'm gonna start out. Here's my bread maker. Nice big mistake there. I spilled the water. Give me just one moment and I'll get some more. Okay. So we're gonna use 1 cup of water. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. 1 cup of water. All right. And then we're going to use about 1/2 cup of coconut milk. I love using the Silk brand coconut milk. Okay. Okay, we're going to add that in there. You probably might need to add a little bit more. I have a hard time because I do not like to measure. I like to eyeball everything. So it's really difficult for me to share recipes with other people. But we're going to try this today, see how it goes. This is 2 cups of wheat flour. We're adding that next. Okay. And now we are going to add... Now, typically, the best way to do this is to mix your sugar and your salt all together. Okay. You're putting, if you didn't notice, you're putting your... what I have here is 4 teaspoons of Smart Balance vegan margarine or butter, and then I've got a tablespoon of grapeseed oil and a tablespoon of coconut oil, and I like the flavor. I do it for flavor purposes. It just gives it a great flavor. Unrefined version coconut oil. I like the cold pressed. I was all out of that. And then I've got a teaspoon of salt here. And we're going to mix that together. Now typically you could cook this in the pan with all your liquid ingredients, your milk and your water. I'm just going to do it in the cup today like this, okay? Just for the sake of time. We're going to pour this on in there. And then probably could have done that before. Put it all in with the liquids, but it's okay. It's all going to get kneaded up. And then after you do that, then you're going to add, the reason why I do this, honey works and sugar works, but you want to activate your yeast. So I'm going to put just a little bit of honey. I mean, for those of you that like to measure, maybe that was like a tablespoon or 2 of honey. Okay, that's going to activate the yeast. And then you're going to put a little hole right there. And then you're going to put your yeast right in the middle. Okay? Because you don't want your yeast to rise like right away. So then you're going to pour that down your little valley where the yeast is. Okay, and that was well, actually that should have been 1/4 cup. I did the 1/3 cup. Okay, now I'm going to save this 1/4 cup to see if we need any extra. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this in to my bread maker. Put this into my bread maker. Okay, and I used 1 pack of yeast, by the way. I'm gonna put the top down. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward through that. And you just keep adding liquid if you think that, if it's not enough. Start mixing if you can't see. And so it's gonna start mixing up. The bread is really amazing. Go through a little bit more. And you keep on till it looks like that. You just add water on the side. I like mine wet. When it's too dry, that means you're gonna have hard bread and it's not gonna be light or fluffy. So it looks like we're on the right road with this flour, and we're gonna see how this bread goes, and we'll check back with you when the bread is completed.
Hi, welcome to Smiley.
That's the second type of bread. That's the white bread. If you'd like to see the complete video, you can, but here's what the bread came out like. That's just showing you the cycle of the bread going through. And there's the bread. And so when you take the bread out, you just use a hot pad. You're gonna have a hole at the bottom of your bread, but that's okay. That's from the spin thing that goes around at the bottom. My family loves this. Right now during the pandemic, we are always having fresh bread. And now when I go buy store-bought bread, I'm like, oh, because when you make your own bread, you know what's in it. So I want to encourage you to go and get your own bread maker. I actually, my friend encouraged me to have 2 so I can make 2 loaves at the same time, which is a blessing. And I got mine from the thrift store. One time, the thrift store had one on sale for like, I think it was $1 or $2. And then the other one I got from the thrift store for $10. So if you really want a bread maker, you can go put a mask on and go to the thrift store or go on Amazon or eBay and get a bread maker, and this will really be a blessing. And so this is how we have our sandwiches, and also you can put it in there. There's a pizza dough setting. We can pull this out and just make pizza out of the bread maker. After it goes through the rise setting, you can pull it out and shape your rolls. And so that was what the other video was going to be, but we've just kind of ran out of time. But I just wanted to show you that. So enjoy making your own bread. Now this recipe I'm so excited about. This is a dessert, a snack. It's amazing. You're gonna love it, and it's so easy. Fruit roll-ups. Check it out.
Alright, today we're going to make something really cool. I have not made this in a long time, actually since we were in Mississippi. So that's probably like 10 years ago, which is a shame. But anyway, I had seen this on a video a long time ago, and so it wasn't on YouTube. But anyway, we are making fruit roll-ups, and it's so easy. I took 1 container of strawberries, that's about 1 pound or 16 ounces. I cut off the tips, the green part, the little stems, and but you could leave it on. And then I put about a cup of honey or more, however sweet you want it. I think that's about a cup or a half a cup of honey. I believe it's a cup. Alright, and now we're going to blend it. This is like so easy. You could make this with your eyes closed. My kids love this. So we've blended it. And now we are going to put it on our cookie sheet. So I've got some parchment paper. I really like these because they're already pre-cut, which is pretty cool. So just a little FYI. So I put my parchment paper down, and now we're going to pour this on the cookie sheet and spread it around with like so. All the way to the edges. I might have put a little bit too much honey, but we'll find out, huh? But anyway, spread it all the way to the edges. And then you're gonna cook it on 150. I think I put mine on 175 or 180 until it looks like fruit roll-ups. And that's it. You can do this with raspberries, blueberries, and that is pretty much it. I'm not adding any more because I don't want it to be too thick. And I'm thinking if I add that last part, it'll be too thick. So I'm going to just go ahead and put that on another cookie sheet. Okay, we'll let you see the final results.
So, this is what the fruit roll-up turned out to be. And you can use, I have kitchen scissors. These are really good. I've had them for years. They're titanium ones. And you'll cut it, leave the paper on, and then you can actually roll it up like a fruit roll-up. And there you have it. And look, this was so much cheaper. And actually, I made a mistake. It was 1 tablespoon of honey to the strawberries. That's it. And you cook it on 225 for 3 hours. And that's pretty much it. And you can also make, I did a two-tone kind. I didn't do a video on it, where I put berries, mixed berries at the end of the pan. And then I put green apples that I blended up in the blender at the other end of the pan. And the kids really love those. And you just store these in Ziploc bags. I just put mine in a sealed tight plastic container and kept it on the counter, and we just, oh my goodness, this is quite a treat. Your family will really love it. Want to show this to you. This is ice cream.
Today I'm going to make something really fun. I'm going to make some ice cream, but I'm going to make it in a healthy way where there isn't any cholesterol. Some of you all may not know that the ice cream that we get in the store has a lot of cholesterol in it. The ones with the milk and things like that. So we're going to try to make something really healthy. And then they have too much sugar in them too. So I'm using my Champion today. And if you don't have a Champion, then you can use your blender. I've done it both ways and it works just fine and it's delicious. Except with the blender, you have to add a little bit of liquid at a time. But just remember, the more liquid you add, the soupier it'll be. So you want to just do like a 1/2 cup of liquid at a time, whether it's coconut milk, you can use juice, soy milk, almond milk, or something like that. Okay, so, but with the Champion, and also you can go to Walmart or Kroger's or Target, and they have what's called an emulsifier. And they're really inexpensive. Sometimes you can get them on sale, and also check on Amazon or eBay for an emulsifier. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on. It might be a little loud, but I'm going to start putting the fruit in, and it's going to come out like ice cream. And it tastes really good. I guess it's not that loud. My friend Ken made this for me. This is so amazing.
So you just push it through like this. And then you can go ahead and start even adding other types of fruits as well. I have a berry cherry blend. And see, it comes out really amazing. Look at that. It comes out just like soft serve ice cream, and it tastes so amazing. And one day, I know my Word of Life church, they'll get to have some, because I'll bring this to church one day. We'll have samples. Of course, that'll be after Corona. So I'm just adding frozen bananas. And look at that. It comes out just like soft serve. Make sure you can see this okay. You see how that's coming out like soft serve? That is just so cool to me. My kids love this. That's pretty much how you make it. Skip a little bit so you can see it close up. It is so good. I love it. I use this, and let me show you the end results. This ice cream consistency. And she put a cherry on top, and oh, it's just amazing. So just wanted to show that to you. So tell me, what do you think about the ice cream? Love it.
Good.
All right, is it sweet?
Mm-hmm.
See? All right, I'm glad you like it. Thank you. So you guys have got to try that in your blender, or go get you a Champion or a emulsifier. I'm realizing that I forgot to show you guys the green recipe. So I know you guys have been on here for an hour and a half. That was my goal. If you want to stay on for the last two recipes, which is a peach pie and the greens, then you're more than welcome. And you can go and visit my YouTube page on Smiley Chelise. You'll be able to see a better audio version of the sermon from yesterday from Pastor Dion Johnson. What does God say about my health? I'll be uploading that later on this evening. And if you go to the Omaha Sharon page, which you're already on, you can see the health seminar from yesterday. And I will upload one on my page as well. If you would like to email me for recipes, though you should be able to just write the recipe, get the recipes and write it down. You can go back and look at these videos later. But if you would like recipes, I will type them. I will be typing them out, and I can send you a packet via email. I won't be able to send it in the mail, but I can email. So if you would like a packet, those of you who registered, you can, I'll be sending one. And then also my email address is smiley.chelise@yahoo.com. And you can email me and request a packet from this entire weekend of notes and natural remedies and recipes from this weekend. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. I'm going to go ahead and show the last two. You're welcome to stay on and watch the last two videos, which is how to make greens a healthier way, and how to make sugar-free sweet, well, we're just going to call it a healthier way to make peach pie. And it's actually not sugar-free. It's really good. Okay. Uh-oh, you guys, I'm sorry about that. Give me just 1 minute and I will share this with you guys. But I hope that you guys have gotten some ideas, some great ideas that can help you guys in the future for cooking healthy meals. If you've noticed, you don't have to use a lot of oil in your food. So that's a blessing to know that. And you don't have to use a lot of dairy in your food, and you don't have to use a lot of eggs either. All right, so let me go ahead and share that with you. You know what? I'm going to go back to the slide I had up before. Okay. All right.
Alright, today we're going to make a quick and easy dessert. We are going to make a peach pie or peach cobbler, whatever you want to call. This is a deep dish pie crust. I got it from Kroger's. You can get it from Baker's. Walmart has it as well. There's no pork, and they did not use lard for the oil factor, so that's great. I juiced off these cans of juice. It's better to get this is in the pear juice from the concentrate. It's better to get the no sugar added. This one has 12 grams of sugar, but really what I normally do is go to the Dollar Tree and just buy the frozen bags of peaches, and then there's no sugar in that. But this is what I had in the house, and we're just going to use this. So I'm putting 2 cans, and once again, I took all the juice off of it. I don't like soupy pies and stuff like that. Some people do. If you want all the soup in there, then you can go right ahead and put it in there. So we've got that going on, and you know, just make sure it's spread out evenly. This takes no time. Okay, son, can you put the oven on 350, please? All right. So we're going to preheat the oven on 350. And then we've got some pumpkin pie spice. I'm going to just kind of put this in here just a little bit, not too much because you want to taste those peaches. And then a little bit of ground allspice, which is about the same seasoning from the pumpkin pie spice. All right. That's probably like maybe 1/8 teaspoon of each spice that I just used. No, excuse me, maybe 1/4 teaspoon of each spice that I just used. And then we're going to add some cinnamon. This is probably another 1/8 teaspoon. And you know, just spread it around evenly. And then you're going to pour some vanilla. Just kind of drizzle it around, probably about a teaspoon of it or so. That might be a little bit more than a teaspoon, but anyway. And then for the sweetener, you can either use apple juice concentrate. I'm just going to use agave syrup, and you can get this from Walmart, Baker's, Target. Any store has it. The health food stores have it too. I like the darker ones, but they all are good to me. This is the blue agave. A-G-A-V. Yeah, A-G-A-V-E. It's the amber agave. So you're going to drizzle this around. I probably should have measured this. So probably about 3 tablespoons or 4 tablespoons, however sweet you like it, okay? Agave syrup is really good for people who are diabetic, can't have a lot of sugar. This is another great sweetener, but I'm all out of it, unfortunately. It's a low glycemic sweetener, and it's gluten-free, organic coconut palm syrup. This is another one. It's by Wholesome. I have not been able to find this. I just love it. It's really good. But that's another one. Or you could use maple syrup. Any natural sweetener will do, but do not use the refined sweeteners. You could even use the turbinado sugar or something like that, or the cane sugar, but not the pure refined sugar. Because when you use the pure refined sugar, that really breaks down into your body the wrong way, rises your sugars up, and for those people who are diabetic, and then with corona going on, you don't need that. Okay, so I'm going to add about, these are tablespoons, so about 4 tablespoons or so, okay, 5 of, alright, that's probably a little bit too much, but that's about what I put. And this is Smart Balance. Okay, this is vegan. You can get this at any grocery store. It's really good. So this is the Smart Balance butter. Now you say, why does she have these 2 pie tins? Well, one day I was in a crunch. I had a whole bunch of people over and I needed to have a dessert right quick. Or maybe, I can't remember if I wanted to make this for my family or what. You're gonna take this like this. And it would act crazy. While like, hold your hand, like take your hand like this, hold it like this. And then you're gonna carefully, you have to let this thaw out a little bit for it to come off. Just kind of pull it off the sides a little bit like that. Go around like that. We're gonna try to do this so that it doesn't tear up. Okay, so it's all the way around. I'm putting my hand here and it's acting up. So now I'm gonna gently pull it a little bit. Okay, and by pulling it a little bit, it's starting to fall out. So great, it did it. Yay! So you're gonna make it lay flat like this, okay? Flatten it like that. And then you're gonna go around like this and make it into your pie crust. Take your fingers and pinch, squeeze, pinch, squeeze, pinch, squeeze. And this is just a quick and easy way to have some dessert. And fold it over, take the bottom part and fold it over the top. So it doesn't even look like it was two pie crusts. Isn't this amazing? And this is so quick and easy. And there, you have a pie and it tastes really good. Oh, and I forgot, you can add 2 packs of stevia. I forgot to add that in there too. If you don't want to use much agave syrup, then you can add 2 packs of stevia. Excuse me, stevia. So I'm just going around, pinch, pinch, almost done, and there. And then the last thing I need to do is, just so it has a few, air pockets in there, draw some pretty fancy lines. Just do it up. And there, you have it. You can even put some more, but I usually just do a few. I don't do much.
This is how
this kind of helps with.
This is how it looks when
Give or
it's
take,
done.
depending on your
Doesn't
oven,
that
it
look
could
amazing?
be 25 minutes because remember the peaches are already.
So you cook it for about 25 minutes. It depends on your oven. And oh man, it's so good. And if you don't want to use canned peaches, you can use frozen peaches. But when you use frozen, then you'll want to cook those on the stove top because frozen might be a little harder. And also I wanted to tell you that you can use this to make a pot pie. Same concept. Just get your vegan or vegetarian meat, make your gravy the same way I showed you, add your vegetables, saute your carrots and your onions and celery on the side. I have made some pot pies like that and oh man, it's so good. So that was just a way, and the last recipe is the greens.
All right, we're starting out with our greens. I've got water in the bath, in my pan. I'm not going to tell you how much water to put. Just fill your pan up with how much water you want for your greens. And usually I do it about half away. Putting seasoning sauce, some Tony's. This is my favorite seasoning. It's a Creole seasoning, so I'm putting some of that in there. Putting some garlic powder. I'm going to use a lot. I'm just going to open up this top and just get it in there. I love for my greens to be garlicky. Some people don't, but I love it. So, onion powder. Putting a lot. And put some thyme in here. And then, some people like theirs sweet and salty. So what I do for the sweet and salty effect, it is so good, by the way. Bring me that container. I put maple syrup on my greens and it's really, really good. I'll put just a dash of salt. You can put however much seasonings you want in yours. I just put a, well, kind of a lot because I like the sweet and salty. Thank you, sweetheart. And then I'm just going to put 1 sprinkle of cayenne pepper. You can add more if you like it. Okay. And then some brags. Now at the end of making my greens, I'm going to add some liquid smoke to give it that smoky flavor. Now I'm going to add also a bag of chopped onions to really flavor the water. Want to put lots of onions in there. And we're going to let that cook for a little bit, and then we'll be back and we'll add the greens to it and then let it cook more. Alright, now I'm making a different type of greens. This is a kale mixture. So I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of oil to the pan, not that much. And run it around in the pan. Make sure your pan is nice and hot. And then the next thing I'm going to add is some onions. Okay, and then some bell peppers. I like a lot of onions. Kind of like that. Just trying to flavor the oil. And then you want to just saute these. You can use regular kale or kale mixture. This is actually the best way to cook your greens because you're not cooking them all the way down, so you're still getting some nutrients in them. If you can eat them raw, that's even good too, like make a kale salad. That's the best way. This is the second best way, and then boiling them is the third. So I'm just kind of letting this cook down. And if you want it to cook a little faster, you can put a top or a plate on it to kind of let it steam. Okay. And then now I'm going to add my greens. This is my kale from the garden. Okay. Now, we've got that on top of there like that. The next thing we're going to do is add about 1/4 cup of water, not much, just to help for the steam process to start. And then you're going to drizzle the brags around maybe 3 or 4 times. A sprinkle of this Tony's Cacciatore. I just love this stuff. I'm probably saying it wrong. And then you can get it at Walmart. Onion powder. I like a lot. And then I like a lot of garlic powder. This is a quick and easy way to fix for your family. If you're trying to hurry up and have a vegetable right quick. Now this cooks down, so you probably will want to add more, but I'm just doing a demonstration for you. And then you will put the top on. We're going to put a top over this. This isn't the top that goes with this pan, but we're going to use it anyway. I don't have a top that goes with it. Okay. We'll cook that down just for like 1 or 2 minutes, not that long, because you still want to keep some of the nutrients in there. If you don't want to cook it down and you just want to flavor it, then that's fine too. And you just kind of let it steam up there a little bit. You can slice the greens smaller, slice them however you want to. I was just doing it a quick and easy way. Okay, so it's almost been a minute, and we're going to let that cook for just a little bit more. because it cooks down quickly. See how quickly it's already cooked down? See that? For me, that's enough. When you cook your vegetables, if they're yellow, if your broccoli's yellow or light green, you've cooked all the nutrients out of them. If your green beans are yellow or light green. So we try to have ours like this, and that's about it. And sometimes we don't even cook it down this much. But this is a quick and easy way. If you want a smoky flavor, my mom loves liquid smoke, then you can add this to it. That gives it your liquid smoke, gives it your smoky flavor. So instead of putting like turkey fat or turkey back, whatever you call it, in there, you can just use this, and it's really good. So that is a quick and easy way to make kale. We love it that way. You can put fresh garlic in there too. I accidentally dropped the fresh garlic into the boiled greens, and this is pretty much how you do it. So,
and let me show you the other, that's how it
Any
looks.
of your vegetables.
And here's the other greens, so you can see.
She's no longer with us, sadly, but
let's see, let me go back just a little bit.
And then the last thing I do is add liquid smoke. You can even take, I went over a friend's house. My friend Chandrika did this for me one day. She's no longer with us, sadly, but she put stripples in her greens, and so you can drain all the juice out and then put stripples in it, and it's really good. And just kind of saute the stripples in a pan and do that last. And here's the greens. So it was great, but there's 2 quick and easy ways how to make greens.
Yep, so that is how we make the greens, and the best way is just to have
This is just part of an experiment.
kale salad.
Put some pictures up online, got some good feedback, and decided there was something.
I'm sorry. The best thing to do is just have kale salad. That's actually a lot healthier, but because you're not cooking out the nutrients. But I want to thank you guys for joining the cooking class today, and for all those that stayed by, stopped by. I hope that you guys were blessed. I hope that you learned a lot. A lot of the things I've learned and been inspired by my mom, and I praise God for her. And then I want to encourage Sharon Church. Your first lady, she can throw down in that kitchen, and she knows how to make a lot of amazing vegan meals. And so I want you guys to get up with First Lady Loretta. Check her out as well. Shoot, she might be doing some cooking classes herself. Well, she does them on her Facebook page, and so you can get inspired by her, and her daughter cooks as well, Jordan. And so I want you guys just to try to make healthy choices so that you can be here longer, so that we can all be a part of hastening God's soon return. Remember, you are what you eat. Everyone have a blessed day. And again, you can go to Smiley Chelise on YouTube to see more videos, or the full version of the videos that I kind of fast forward through, or you can email me for the recipes that I've shared today, and I'll get those out to you. Everyone have a blessed day, and I want to thank God for the opportunity, and thank Omaha Sharon and my mom, who is the health ministry leader at the church, Lenny Charlene Davis, for asking me and my husband to do this. Everyone have a blessed day and take care.